Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. You can always make another choice next Wednesday the course of your success. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, has the 7 p.m. to make inspired 6 p.m. Mountain, get ready to listen, Pacific, share, and experience the creativity that is you. We hope you'll join us. Here is the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, what you Christine McIver. This is your life. Making the choices that bring you all that you desire.
Mood tonight, because I have got an amazing being, one of my favorite beings on planet Earth this round, Donnielle Carter. Actually, I'm supposed to say Miss Donnielle Carter.
Just this round? I'm not one of your favorite beings every round? Come on.
I don't know. I don't remember the other rounds. I hope you were. Welcome, everyone, to the Inspired Choices show. Tonight, we've got a bang-up show for you, and it's a conversation sometimes that's uncomfortable, and sometimes people are secretive about being uncomfortable with it. Sometimes they're kind of like listening but looking away, and other times people are just diving right in because they want to get more information. Whoever and whatever you are, I hope you're coming along, because Donnielle Carter is incredibly aware and very gifted in this area. So tonight's topic is, which body image is real? I'm just going to read a little bit about tonight's show, and then we're going to talk about all things Donnielle Carter. So tonight's show is the way you see yourself really what you look like? Years ago, I would have thought that was a super weird question. And today that always makes me go, let me check.
Well, it is a super weird question, and one that people don't often think about or acknowledge as possible.
But today it's a good question in my mind. So often we are our harshest critics. A friggin' man to that. Not only in our heads, but also in the mirror. Can what you think and say about yourself change how you see yourself in the mirror or in photos? Remember, what you say creates. So we are going to be talking all about our words, our thoughts, our images, what we see, what we project, what we receive. This is going to be a full bucket show. Now get ready, because I'm telling you, it's going to be great. I do want to give you a little bit of background on Donnielle, and I many of my listeners will know Donnielle, and many of my new listeners, maybe, it's been too long, Donnielle, since you've been around. So I'm going to give everybody a little bit of your background. So Donnielle is on a mission to assist people to change how they interact, view, and be with their bodies. She spent most of her life ignoring and judging her body despite her unique background of TV and radio, and being educated in nutrition and holistic approaches to healing and changing bodies. Such an opposites. Donnielle is an international speaker and the spokesperson for Access Conscious Right Body for You, and a major contributor to the best-selling book, Right Body for You. Once severely shy, I still don't think that's true. She is now,
I'll give you references.
She is now regularly interviewed and makes public appearances, in addition to facilitating classes, including her Energy of Words classes and the transformative Right Body for You workshops, helping people to rediscover the glory, fun, and joy that a body truly is. Donnielle's topics for her workshops include body image, what we're talking about tonight, pain, eating, weight, money, words and language, the earth, and much more. Is it possible to change your body and your life by changing the way you look at it? Donnielle says yes. Yes. Welcome to the show, my friends.
Thank you, Christine. I always have so much fun with you. It's been too long, my friend.
I know. I don't even want to get the date, but I know the date in my head, but I don't even want to talk about how long it's been.
She's talking about, I used to have a show on the network.
Yeah, but I mean talking about since we were physically in person that we could hug.
Right.
That's been too long. Yeah. But Donnielle and I first met August, the August long weekend it was August 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 2014. I know it's been a few years, and it was very it was a very cool way that we met. It was actually your birthday.
It was.
It was your birthday, and we were all singing happy birthday. And I had just started on the adventure that is now Inspired Choices Network. And Donnielle walked up, and she just in Donnielle's, the only way that Donnielle does it, it's like, I think I'm supposed to have a show on your network. Okay. Not 101 questions, just like, and that's Donnielle's awareness.
Did I really say that?
I never forgot exactly how you said it. And I'm like, okay, that's very cool. So Donnielle, you have been an amazing contribution in my life, and I know in thousands and thousands of people's lives.
Thank you.
How much of this body of work that you have been really escorting forward, how much of this do you still yourself actually work with for you?
All of it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would love to say that there isn't a day I'm asking a question or using the tools or growing and changing and evolving, but I would first be lying. And then second, try to complete something that there is no completion to. You know, that's one of the things I see a lot of people do is they go, oh, well, I'll finally get my body, for an example, to this. And then stay body, don't change. So, you know, your body's constantly evolving. I mean, even physically, we're shedding skin, hair, we are cycling, filtering blood, we're oxygenating things. It's just, your body is constantly in emotion, constantly reinventing itself. So to think that we can get our body to a place where it's static, where it doesn't change, is quite naive.
Right. It's funny. As soon as you started to say that, it was like, yeah, how many of us want to just check off that box? Body image, good, check, right?
Or have the right body, hence right body for you, right? Have the right body, check. But then the only problem is, the next day I feel a little bloated. I don't have the right body for me anymore. I don't have the right body image anymore. Or I gained 5 pounds. I lost 5 pounds. I should gain those 5 pounds back. And so we are 99% in that judgment of self, 99% of that judgment of our body. Because if we try to get our body to a static place and image,
yes,
it is 1% of the time. And that's like just that moment. And then you sneeze and then your coloring's off, or you cry and your coloring's off. It's just there is no static. And here's a spoiler alert, guys. The more we try to solidify our body, the sicker our body becomes. So how much of the sickness, pain, and disease in our bodies would change if we weren't asking it to stop its motion, to stop its squishy yumminess? Yeah, we're asking it to be solid, and that's not our body's natural state.
Asking it to be solid.
Yeah.
Okay, now, my friends, everybody that's listening and watching, this is one of my very best friends in the world, and I feel so gifted to have her in my life. And we talk about everything from A to Z, and some topics we can't talk about tonight. But
I'm willing to be bribed, folks. I have details on Christine.
Okay,
private message me. I'm always looking for additional, revenue streams or favors or,
whatever works. Nice, Donnielle. God, make a note of that. But what I was going to say before she's trying to out me is that I am always incredibly not surprised, but I'm incredibly enlightened by another piece. And I've taken many classes with you. I've hosted your classes. I've done online classes with you. And maybe you've said it that way before. I didn't hear it, right? And that's one of the things that I love, is that as we continue to lean into a body of work, that we actually hear something in a different way, and it then gets through, it penetrates through.
Well, and honestly, Christine, what you were saying about at the beginning is like, how often do I still use these tools or this body of work? And I'm like, every day. I don't know if I've said it that way before. I don't really prepare coming into this. I mean, I have the knowledge, but then the awareness of how it says, I allow my body and the universe to contribute to the energy of that. That's why I call myself hashtag energies bitch. Because half the time when I say something, I'm like, oh, that was cool. Who said that?
Who said that? Who said that?
Right. But that is the evolution. Think about how many programs you've gone to where you've heard it before, word from word, because they're doing a script. And
Yes.
how boring is that? It's
Yes.
boring because they're trying to re-solidify even that body of work. So they're trying to solidify their body and the body of work. And so, as you're saying, you always hear it different or whatever. Yeah, and I'm usually saying it a little different because the energy is different. Otherwise, we stall, and all of us are trying to evolve. And so, why a body of work that's stalled is boring.
Boring. Okay, so you just said something. Let's jump back. You said we're all trying to evolve.
Mhm.
Well, in the area of body image, are we really trying to evolve, or are we trying to hold on to something that is actually a greater contribution to allow it to evolve?
Well, and that's exactly it. That's what I was saying earlier about if we're trying to get it to be solid, and one of the first things I tell people to do, I love how we just jump into the middle. But whenever somebody in a class or somebody in a private session, when I'm like, they're coming to me with body image, I'm like, great. First thing you do, get rid of all those images from when you were in high school. Because, on all those diets and stuff, they tell you, get a picture of some time you liked yourself and put it on a fridge, or
Yes.
or my other favorite, cut out your head and put it on the body of somebody else, and then put that on the fridge or in front of the mirror or whatever, right? And I'm like, that's not you. You can't be that. You're different. You've changed. And I'm not just saying you got older. I'm not saying that at all, because I don't actually believe in aging. But you need to get rid of that kind of stuff, because all it does is judge. And all it does is trying to create something from the past that is no longer there. So it is an evolution, not aging. And we can talk about that. It's not aging. It's an evolution. It's not a solid state, but we try. Those photos. Right. Who has those photos?
Yeah.
We all do.
That's interesting. I was talking about something. I don't know. I was talking with somebody and I came across some old photos of me. And I never wore a bikini, Donnie. Like never, ever, ever did I wear a bikini. But there was this one time that I wore a bikini and I had some pictures and I hid them away. Because that Christine, and that was like in the early 90s, that Christine thought, oh my God, you are so fat. You couldn't possibly go out in a bikini. And I look at those photos today, and while the body was cute and it was smaller, I pick up on the energy of that body and that person that was there then. And I was not happy with who I was. And here I am today, a much more voluptuous Christine. And there are plenty of days where I'm like, hey, look at my sexy body and I'm feeling good. And then there are days that I just go, what the hell?
Yeah.
And it's such this 1 hour is not going to unlock a ton, because this is a big mountain to climb in our minds. And we're so inundated from everything around us. That one of my pastimes at night, just before I'm going to bed for some laughter, is I watch TikTok. I go on TikTok.
Oh, that pastime, yes.
Donnielle Carter B, stop it. And there's a lot of fun people on there, but there's a lot of people on there doing extreme looking good. And
yes.
And maybe we're going to go to break soon, but maybe we can talk about this after. And then there's the I don't want to say extreme, but they're kind of like pushing in your face, hey, and they're saying this, I'm not saying this, they're saying this, I'm fat and I'm beautiful. And they're like pushing this at people, which is another form of judgment.
Yeah.
And it's quite crazy. It creates quite an energy when you watch those.
Yeah. And that's one of the targets with this program I'm developing, is the space of of enjoying yourself and not proving yourself.
Nice. Okay, we're up for our first break. And oh my gosh, how did that happen so quickly? Everyone, we're talking with the amazing Donnielle Carter, and tonight we're talking all about what body image is real, ? Stay tuned, my friends. We've got a lot more in line to tell you about, and I can't wait to continue the conversation. So you're listening to Inspired Choices with myself, Christine McIver, Donnielle Carter, my beautiful guest on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices Radio Show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right, my friends, I'm having fun. I can't talk. I'm having so much fun. This is what happens when I get together with the amazing Donnielle Carter. Tonight, we're talking all about body image. So I'm just going to jump right back in, Donnie, and I want to ask you, what is body image?
A lie.
And we're done the show.
And scene.
And scene. Exactly. All right. Give us a little more than that. Tell us.
Well, it actually is. And it's interesting because I actually have a program called Shattering the Lie of Body Image, because I began to realize what a lie it is, right? Because I've worked with thousands of people all over the world with their bodies. Some healing it, some other things with it. But it's body image and how we view our bodies is always at the forefront of it all. Even if with a disease, body image is in the forefront of it all. And then combine it with my love of words and my love of energy, I started looking at the phrase body image. And I realized that what we're trying to force our body into is actually a lie. Because how we use the phrase body image is a relatively new term. It was a Viennese author, psychology person, who wrote a paper and who first used the phrase body image in 1940. Before that, we didn't use body image as we have it now. And then in 1950, marketing, yay for marketing, says the woman with a marketing degree. They decided to pick it up and use it as a selling mechanism to create people with needing this product. So the body image is that. So I started researching. I discovered that. I'm like, wait a minute. So it's a relatively newly used term.
Right.
And then the phrase image, the word image, the original meaning, so the original energy behind image is an artificial representation of a person, usually through a statue or art. Okay, so we're literally trying to shove our body into a solid image that's a lie.
Wait a minute, back up. Say this again.
Beep,
So,
beep, beep, beep.
It's really hard to be professional with you.
Oh, sorry. Were we supposed to be? I missed that memo. That wasn't in the show.
So I didn't send you that. Okay. So what you're saying is when marketing came along
in the 50s, not marketing's always been around, but
right. No, but when they picked up on this, they came up with a definition. Yes. They came up with this definition.
No. So one of the things that I always encourage people to do is to look at the original definition of words, because that's where the energy matches the word.
Right.
Okay? And so the original meaning of the word image, so the energy, so every time you say the word image, this is the energy that comes up. Okay. The original meaning is the original energy. And so when you say a word, that energy comes up.
Can you repeat the definition again?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I pulled it up while we were talking.
Awesome.
Because I paraphrased before. So the original meaning of the word image is a piece of statuary, which means statue, okay? A piece of statuary, an artificial representation that looks like a person or thing. So it's saying something solid, that is actually an artificial representation, so a falsehood. So we're trying to shove our body into a statue. Artificial representation and a solid point of view, like we we're talking about in the first segment.
Right. Oh my gosh. You know, that's the type of information for me that sticks in my mind, that really stays there. Okay, so we have the understanding of the word and we know what we are doing.
Mm-hmm. Talk
to me about the words, about how the word, like, are words really a big, are our words like the gasoline creating a lot of this?
Sure. Let's see, with that analogy, words would be words would kind of be the fire, the match. The gasoline is already there. I'd say the judgment is the gasoline. And then our words can be the match. Because we have this, you know, how you asked me, what is body image? I'm like, it's a lie.
Right.
Because, and then we go to fun things like, I don't know, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, magazines, movies, and go, oh, that's the acceptable thing. That's how we're supposed to look. That's how we're supposed to be. Right. So we have this judgment come up, and then we'll say things to ourselves like, oh, you should be better than this. You should look like this. I can't do this. Or so it's also about the unspoken words, though, with body image, not just the spoken. Okay. Right. It's truly about the energy we're being. And you know how you were asking me about before the break, there's those people who have the false image, which is a solid state. You know, I look like this and I'm gorgeous and everybody wants to be me because I have what in this society is considered the right body. Okay. Right. And then we have the other half who is in your face, pushing energy of, I am this, I am big, I am bold, I am beautiful. And if you don't like it, screw you, you're wrong.
Yes. Yes.
So they think they're wrong. You think they're wrong not because of what they look like, but because of the energy they're pushing. But then the other side does that too. If you don't like me the way I look this way, you're wrong. So really, we're screwed everywhere we go. We're always wrong. We're never have a possibility of actually enjoying ourselves, enjoying our body for what it looks like. Society has asked to be in a constant state of judgment of ourselves, of how I should say, just a constant state of how our body looks. Because don't even get me started on that internal thing. Oh, well, let's just talk about, you know, it's all about how you look, not about the inside. You know, like I watched this comedy show and somebody goes, oh yeah, she's really nice. Oh no, it said, oh, she's so funny. That means she's fat. You know, it's like,
oh my gosh,
because they talk about the personality if they can't talk about the outside.
Yes.
And so we're putting the outside as the priority. Whereas I know for a fact what we say to ourselves creates the outside. And I don't mean And I don't mean just affirmations. I don't believe affirmations work. Cross that. I know affirmations don't work. Okay. Because the energy doesn't match. So when I say what you say creates, it's true. What you say creates. But it is all about the energy.
It's very it's very interesting in that, you know, we're all trying to get something right, hence the right body for you. We're trying to get something right. We don't know what it is that we're supposed to be doing, how we're supposed to be with our bodies, and we're inundated with information. And then we turn around, we can't figure it out, and we may not have words for all the energies that are coming at us. And then we give up and we go into criticizing ourselves and belittling ourselves. It's just this continuous cycle of demeaning ourselves and judging ourselves and thinking, I'm never going to get this right.
And we have been taught judgment and competition is what is elements of creation. Because like you said, they say we don't know what is supposed to be. So how do we know what is supposed to be? We look at somebody else. Yes. We look at them. We look at, oh, they must have a happy life. If they look like this, then that works for them. Or my parents were like this and they look like that. So it must be, you know. So we do this judgment. We do a comparison. Mm-hmm. And here's another fun one. True competition, the original meaning of competition, every time you compare yourself to another and find yourself better or lacking. So when we look outside of ourselves to see how our body should look, we're being competitive. Even if that point of view is, oh my gosh, they're so much better than me. Listen to the definition again. Competition is every time you compare yourself to another and find yourself better or lacking. We'll never look at the lacking part, but right. It is. And then that doesn't create. So like I said, we've been taught that judgment and competition are elements of creation, but it's not. It's actually elements of destruction. So I'd like to say, you know, to whatever age and however long you and this body have been on this earth, the fact that you're still walking and talking and you've been using destructive forces for creation, pat yourself on the back. Good job, kids. You're still here. I mean, honestly, look at that. We've been trying to use destructive forces as creation instead of creating forces for creation.
Oh, I just think of, you know, I think of little children when they're, you know, they come into this world and, you know, we always see the beauty of a baby, right? People will say jokingly, oh, that baby's ugly, but babies are just, babies don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care if they got a big butt. They don't care if they got short legs. They're happy. They're just happy being. Yep. And you know, it gets to about what, age 3, and we start projecting on them what they should look like. Or except I have seen lots of lately people trying to compete their babies with, you know, making them look a certain way instead of just like, let the kid just be, right? It's sad. Now I know we're going to go off to break, but before we do, I wanted you plug this amazing class that you've got coming up. Well, class. It's called the Right Body for You Book Club. And oh my gosh, I think I've done it with you twice now. And every time, like Donnielle knows, like I won't be at my desk. I'll usually be relaxing, maybe in the living room as I enjoy it. And before the end of every single solitary class, I'll be passed out. The energy of that. She laughs every time.
This isn't because I'm boring, I swear.
No, it's not. The energy of it really knocks me out, and it's great. And I love what you've done. And you're starting it on one of my favorite days in the world. She's starting this class on July the 7th. Yep. For $77,
for 7 weeks.
For 7 weeks. It's all about the sevens, baby. It's really, really cool. You can find the link, go to accessconscious.com and you can search for the book club. We will put the link in this replay. So if people would like to grab that from the audio, where they're listening after, or the video, they can certainly grab that. Donnie, how long is each of the classes? So it's 7 weeks. How long are each of the
90 minutes.
They're 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's 90 minutes.
And this is the book, Right Body for You.
14 chapters, 2 chapters a week.
2 chapters a week. It is not a difficult read.
No. And I was going to say, I call it book club in action because we're not going to get together and read it. Okay. For me, reading's a solitary thing, not a social thing. And so what it actually is I lead a discussion about the tools in the chapters and then give you an action to take to begin to use them with your body immediately. Okay, so cool. It's not just we read together.
We're not going to hold hands and read. That's awesome. So this is definitely a class that is, you unpack about body image in that. What else do you unpack in there?
Oh, we talk about, you name it, how we create our bodies, health, pain, family, money. A lot of people don't know how much money and bodies go together, but it's in there. Creation of the future, not just destruction of the past, but creation of the future. And I think I already said family, and you name it. If it comes up about bodies, we talk about it. And I might go off book a little bit.
Not you. It's Donnielle's classes are always dynamic. And what's very cool about you is that you're reading the energy all the time. And so as you evolve with your knowledge and your awareness, you bring that to the table. And I absolutely love that because it's an ever evolving book club centered around the foundation of this book. And
it's like, you think you've done the book club? You haven't.
You haven't done the book club.
But on to that, I know we need to take a break, so I'm just going to tease people because we were talking about earlier about how we've been taught that competition. Hey, I used to do a radio show. We used to talk about how competition and judgment are the sources of creation. And then I could perceive people going, well, what do I do then? I have things for you that you can do when you come back.
She will have a lot. Okay, let's jump off to our second break. You're listening to Donnielle Carter, Christine McIver on the Inspired Choices show on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back with more about body image. Stay tuned.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, my friends. This is a very serious show. Tonight, we are talking all about body image. We need to get serious.
No. We're so serious. I lost the chat for a minute.
I'm watching your face while I'm dancing, and she's like, I didn't think I was dancing that bad.
Because I was looking up a word, because for me, when the energy strikes, when a word has a lot of energy into it,
yes,
I look at the original meaning and the original energy. So I went to another web page, and I have so many tabs open. But I think I got it back.
Okay, good. Tell us what the word was that popped.
Provoke, because I was actually listening to your your bumper, you're open, you're commercial. And it's like, Christine will provoke you. And I'm like, ooh, what does provoke mean? Because it has a lot of fun energy on it, right? And it was awesome. And I just lost the chat again. But, and I can't, okay, bear with me. I don't know where it went. And it's, yep, chat's gone. Anyway, but the original meaning was to challenge, to call forth. And I thought that was pretty cool and pretty good descriptive of you as a coach in a show. It's like, you will challenge and call them forth to their own possibilities. So
I like that. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
So how do you provoke people into looking at what's not working with their body image?
Honestly, enjoying me and my body, no matter what it looks like, and then having absolutely no judgment of them. And why I say that is, somebody who's not judging you is honestly one of the most seductive and confusing things to you. Because how many of us go through the world and go, well, tell me how to be with you. Judge me so I know how to be with you. So I know how to react. So I know what to say. I know what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. And all this is done energetically, right? And so when somebody like me comes up and I have no judgment of them, they go, well, crap, I have to look at myself then. Because then instead of fighting me, you look at you. And so it's like, what an amazing world it would be like if we could be in a world where nobody judges anybody. Then we might not judge ourselves either.
Have you found that when you're being that total allowance and no judgment with people, do you find that people actually are so uncomfortable they can't be with you sometimes?
Sometimes, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm just fascinated by what you're saying, because I would imagine that people would like, I don't know what to do here.
Well, and what's interesting about that is, like, this is the place where we often take it personally. Oh, they don't like me. No, they don't actually like themselves. And so here's not the tool I was planning on giving, but here's a fun one. Next time you think you're being attacked, even if it's about you, like that coworker is out to get you, ask yourself a question. Just be vulnerable, totally drop all your barriers and ask yourself a question. Say, truth, does this have anything to do with me? Even if it's about you, it's like, oh, they said mean things about me trying to get me fired. It's rarely actually about you. And so, like, the next time even somebody judges you or rejects you, truth, does this actually have anything to do with me? No.
I need to write that one down.
Yeah, 99.9% of the time, maybe even 100% of the time, it's about them, their doubts, their judgments, their weaknesses. So you're often just the scapegoat.
So if that's true, and I'm not saying I'm doubting you, but if that's true, Donnie, then when we are picking up judgments about our bodies, how much of that is actually them judging their own bodies that we're picking up that they're judging about our body? Like it's like we're playing hot potato and it's constantly going back and forth.
Most of it, honestly, because one of the things I like to joke about is we come prejudged. So it's like you walk into a room with your energetic list of, this is how you can judge me. Okay. And when you judge me that way, it validates that I should be judging myself this way. Wow. And then so we are all reacting to each other's judgments of ourselves. And then we're thinking it's others. Like next time you go walking down the street and you see somebody like, oh, they're too thin, or they're too fat, or they're too old, or they're too young, or whatever it is, or they're too brown, white, purple, whatever. See if it's actually yours. Like, here's a fun thing to do. Sometimes you can stop and go, wait a minute, where is this judgment coming from? And point. Quite often you're like, where's this judgment coming from? Oh, it's not even mine, because it's coming from like out there.
Right.
It's not yours. Oftentimes you're picking up on them going, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too whatever. Right. Or I'm not enough. And then we go, yeah, and we think we're judging them when we're not.
We're not. We have a question in the chat room. One of our participants asked suggestions for a body that is thin and handling all the comments of "you look fantastic" and not getting caught up in that. She says, I have a history of an eating disorder. Yeah, that's not something that's been part of my world about somebody with an eating disorder. And yet I come to find out a few years ago that my daughter was teetering on that side. It's like, oh, I wouldn't even recognize it. What would you say to this question, Donnie?
Yeah, I've worked with a lot of people who have an eating disorder. And what's interesting about this is whether you're too fat or too thin, we're all judging ourselves in the same way. I'm not saying we're unified in our judgment,
right?
But it is extremes of the same issue, which is very interesting. And so suggestions for a body that's too thin and handling also, it's like, I would encourage you to look at the difference between I started reading something. The difference between a compliment and an acknowledgement. Okay. Because acknowledgement has an energy of fun, spacious, and not a right-handed slap of judgment with it. Okay. It's just an acknowledgement of you and your very being and your body. A compliment has a slap energy of judgment. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, you look so nice. I hate you for that. I wish I could be that way. Who do you think you are? That is that energy of compliment. Acknowledgement is that energy of, oh my gosh, you look so nice.
Right.
And it's total space. So one of the things to do is to first look at when they say, oh, you look fantastic, are they saying a compliment with that underlying current of judgment, or are they acknowledging you? Acknowledgement makes you go, oh, thank you. A compliment makes you go, thank you, and I have to apologize for myself. Mm-hmm. Okay. A compliment has that energy of judgment, will make you apologize for yourself for if you have or don't have or anything like that. Whereas an acknowledgement is just that spaceless possibility of one infinite being seeing another infinite being and going, you're pretty cool.
Okay? Right. It's so interesting the way that you say that. I absolutely love that. I've even when people say things like, oh, you look so pretty in that dress. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, I've picked up on it and didn't know what it was.
Yep.
And I would be like, so you like the dress?
Nope.
Or you like the dress on me? Or I look better in the dress?
Or I'm so proud of how you look good in that dress because you have no point of view that you're, a fat little tard and you shouldn't be wearing that dress. But look at you being so confident that you're wearing that dress. I've had those compliments too. I just love the way you're so confident you just flit around in that little dress. I'm like, screw you, woman. It sounded like a compliment. It wasn't. She was judging me for wearing something different than what this society says a fat person should be wearing.
Oh, wow. People are just, they really do tell on themselves, don't they?
Yeah. And that's what I was saying about recognizing that underlying energy. That was a compliment, which was really nothing but a judgment.
Right. Okay. We're going to go to our next
Exactly.
break.
So the follow-up to the question.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
No, she just said, I find myself working. She's like, thank you, Donnielle. I find myself working to minimize the words given to make them feel better. Exactly. They're making you apologize for what you have or don't have. That's a compliment. It's not an acknowledgement.
That's wild. You have a number of really cool classes, and one of my favorites is definitely the energy of words. This to me is like one of the most fascinating classes that you do. It's fantastic. You also have one called No Longer Waiting.
WEIGHT. Yes.
Yes. And everything is the opposite.
I love that series. I love everything I do. If you can't say I love everything you do, don't do it.
Why are you doing it?
I have a list of things I used to do. Used to being the key word. Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, between Shattering the Lie of Body Image, Energy of Words, No Longer Waiting, and the Everything is the Opposite series, And if you guys like to laugh, Everything Opposite series is for you. It's friggin' hilarious. It's just a one-off 90-minute calls here and there. And it came about because I had spent at that point 8 or 9 years, trying to convince people to not judge their bodies, enjoy their bodies, be grateful for their bodies, have fun with it. And it was like hitting a brick wall, right? Everybody was like, prove it to me. It just, not fun. I'm like, I'm exhausting myself trying to convince you. And so I finally went, you know what, fine. And I did a call that said 5 ways to torment your body, or torture your body, 5 ways to torture your body. And it was a free call back then. I had 300 people sign up in the first hour.
Oh, Donnie.
I'm like, I've been spending all of these years trying to convince yourself how to be grateful for your body. And fine, I'll tell you how to torture your body. But here's the thing. I actually go through with it. It's not like I go through and go, okay, just kidding. And then here's how you love your body. No, I come through in this series and actually tell you the 5 different things of how to torture your body.
Oh my God.
And everything is the opposite, because I love this series because it actually puts humor, and it cracks in the solid points of view and judgments around this stuff. And so you see it from a different point of view. It's fun. But I also do things like how to hide from the world, how to have an empty wallet, and just all of these it's a fun series. I like it.
Well, I think all your series are fun, and I am biased, yes, because I love them and I enjoy them, and I just adore you. And the contribution that you have been to, I've watched people in your classes. I've listened to people on your calls. And yes, Donnielle Carter had a show here with me for a number of years, Right Body for You with Donnielle Carter. You can go into the archives. You'll find hundreds of archives there and listen to these amazing classes that never are stale. The information is always fantastic. So if you're looking for a different possibility with a body
or your life, because for me, there's no separation between your body and your life.
Right. Contact Donnielle. Just go to DonnielleCarter.com, right?
No, Donnielle.com.
Donnielle.com. Oh, it's because she's like Cher, only it's just Donnielle.
That's right, darling.
That's right.
2 N's, 2 L's.
Love it. Okay, and we will have her website in the replay of this as well. We're going to go to our last break. Stick around. We got more laughter and joy and fun and possibility with Donnielle Carter here on the Inspired Choices show on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll see you shortly.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices Radio Show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
I don't know who has more fun than me, but I'm having a great time tonight with Ms. Donnielle Carter. And I just found you. You probably can't see this. There you are in our app, Donnielle. I know you can't see it, but you're there. So if you want to check out her podcast, my friends, Donnielle has hundreds of shows that you can look at, you can listen to and enjoy and get lots of information from. So Donnielle, we're talking about body image, and I know that it really does include like the totality of everything that you're teaching. It might be under the guides of bodies, but it really does bring in all aspects of our lives.
Yes.
What's the biggest thing for you right now with what's going on in the world? What are you finding is really tweaking for people?
Gosh, what is tweaking for people? Wow, so much. It's really interesting with the whole pandemic that we're hopefully nearing the end of here. What's one thing that's, I don't know if it's tweaking, but it's definitely one thing that's changing, is that before the pandemic, I was constantly, for lack of a better word, trying to convince people, right? I'm like, I'm inviting you to a different possibility with your body. I'm inviting you to, like, bodies are cool. What if you could enjoy your body no matter what size, shape, or health level? What if it could be a contribution now? What if, what can your body contribute to? Everybody was like, yeah, prove it. But since the pandemic and we couldn't be with people, and then when we were with people, we couldn't touch them. The gift that bodies are now is almost undeniable by the majority of people. The gift that one body touching another, the contribution, the energetic healing exchange is undeniable now. And so the pandemic sucked monkey butts, and I'm grateful for that element of it.
Because it woke us up. Yeah. I saw there's this one little commercial on TV, and it was families getting together, and the daughter walked in. She's carrying her baby, but she just walked over to her mother, and she's just bawling her eyes out. And I'm sitting on the couch watching this, and I'm crying because I'm desiring that with so many people in my life as well. And what a gift, honestly, what a gift the pandemic has been in this way. And I think that it's important that we look at that and we really start to get clear about how these bodies can be and are such an amazing, beautiful creation together and on our own.
Well, yeah, because it's like I do a lot talking about body image, but it's really about your life. Because I have quite a few classes where we deal with bodies. And what's interesting is I have had some of the most dynamic, life-changing, future-changing conversations in this. And people go, oh, it's because, you're just sitting there. No, it's because we're involving the bodies. And the bodies have this own awareness. It's a big tease right here at the end. The bodies have this own awareness. The bodies have this amazing contribution. Your body actually has your back. And when you involve the body energetically like that, no matter what size, shape, or health level, worlds of possibilities open. And so these conversations occur during body classes because we're including the body for sometimes the first time. And it's fantastic. And I love the exploration and what we discover every single time we do a class. It is that evolution.
Everyone, you need to get over to Donnielle.com. Check out all of her offerings. Absolutely, you need to join this book club because I'm telling you, this is going to crack your world open. And for less than a pair of jeans, you're going to get 7 weeks of absolute, you know what? Those jeans are just going to feel better on you because you're going to be in a different space with your body. Okay, my friends, we're closing out. Thank you so much, Donnielle. I absolutely adore you for everything you're doing in the world. Everyone, remember, no matter what, you can always make another choice. Until next week.
Thank
you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life. making the choices that bring you all that you desire. Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.